Hello, Facebook friends, hello. Hello, Facebook friends, hello. I'm feeling real silly, so let's start the show. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Bop. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It is going to be a hot day. It's already 25 degrees. When I woke up today, it was already 25 degrees. It's going to be another hotter, so make sure you keep hydrated and keep doing stuff. Maybe inside today would be a good day to do a lot of inside stuff. If you had inside stuff. Miss Christie's here, so I'm talking to her. Say hi, Miss Christie. There you go.
It's it's good if you sit out in the shade and just like do something like reading.
Oh yeah, but if you have chores outside, it's got to be hard
it's very sweaty if you do any
for sure.
movement.
Yeah,
at all.
and you got to keep hydrated and
Yeah.
not as much salt today. That's what my doctor said. On hot days, not as much salt. So I make up for it on cold days. I eat all the salt I want. Just big bags of salt.
That seems counterintuitive because your sweat is salty.
Yeah,
so
but your sweat is salty.
A lot of salt.
Yeah, but it's also too much. You get lots of salt through natural means and foods and stuff like that. So not to have too much stuff. Anyways, we're not here to talk about heart problems. We're here to read books. Let's do this. Let's read a book. Let's read a book. Read a book. I'm going to turn my phone upside down because it is making people like bling bling. And I'm like, oh, well, I can't concentrate because the phone is doing things. Let's read this book called The Youngest Fairy Godmother. How about that? There we go. We'll read this. Reading this. It's by Stefan or Steven. I never know I always say that's Stefan when there's a PH in the middle, right?
I think it's Steven though.
I always say Stefan. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means that's what I know, that's it. Because I've got some friends that are Stefan that are PH and Steven, which are PH in the middle too.
Yeah.
If you want to be Steven, put a V in the middle. That's all I'm asking you to do. Krensky.
Well, my last name
is Stevenson. Well, you got F's in it.
And it's often, mine is with F's, but it's often spelled with a PH.
Well, PH is an F. But maybe that's why I thought Stefan. PH, as in phone, and PhD. If I had a PhD, I'd know that would be FID. A PhD is the FID. Uh-oh.
A foot?
A foot.
A foot.
Foot. You put one foot forward and you put the other foot forward and you puppy. Anyways. Is there a puppy that you can bring in today?
No.
No puppy to bring in today?
No.
Show's over. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I still have marks on my glasses. Look, I still have lick marks on my glasses from the sage. Reach over here and it's hard to read through doggy smit. That one made me so happy yesterday with the puppy. It was just like, all my troubles were gone. All my troubles were gone. And then she played with me and then went outside, played with you for a little bit, and then fell asleep. There we go.
I need to clean up some poop in the rocks, by the way.
Did you?
Not mine.
No, I hope not. Oh, did we forget to do that yesterday? Did she make a little did she go?
Well, my hands were full trying to take care of her. And it looked messy, so I thought I'd let it dry for a little while.
Oh, okay. Well, it's probably something that nobody here needs to know. The Youngest Fairy Godmother Ever. By Stephen or Stefan Krensky. S. Krensky, we'll say. Skrensky. And this book is by Simon & Schuster. On career day in school, Mavis Trumbull heard all about the shooting rockets into space, hunting for dinosaur bones, and designing the latest software games. Some kids had trouble deciding which job they liked best. The new girl, Cindy, said she felt like she had too many jobs already. But not Mavis. Her plans were set. When she grew up, she wanted to be a fairy godmother. Because, she said, I want to make wishes come true. That's a nice wanting to make wishes come true. That's awesome. Her parents were delighted. You can start by taking out the trash, said Mr. Trimble. And cleaning your room, said Mrs. Trumbull, added. Mavis just shook her head. She was sure wishes like that didn't count. Laura, from next door, wondered how hard the job would be. You might have to work day and night, she said. Oh, it'll be worth it, said Mavis. In fact, Mavis started practicing the very next day. Since fairy godmothers watched over people in secret, she learned to blend into the background. The dog's like, I know the lamp needs to take me for a walk. She also spent time popping out of nowhere. It's just like the fact she's like, wow, like it's like she's not just jumping up, she's jumping out, like, wow.
See the lady laying, she's
out, this lady, she's like, blanc. But the hardest thing to figure out was the right way to grant wishes. This is very tricky, thought Mavis. What if I grant somebody the wrong wish by mistake? This guy's running by and going, oh, Rover, I wish I had your life. And then, whoops, I made the guy a dog. Hello? Hello? Or what if the person wanted one thing, but later changed his mind? Yeah, man, someday I'm going to be big, man. Real big. I meant famous. I think it's funny, too, that he's so big that he's crunching it because he can't fit on the page anymore. Man, I meant famous, man. But she had to start somewhere. Can you help me be a circus star? Laura asked. I want people to ooh and ah on my every move. Mavis decided to try. She rounded up her friends for the show. Ooh, they shouted when Mavis signaled them. Then suddenly, the sudden noise surprised Laura. Luckily, the umbrella broke her fall. Ah, said all the kids together. Mavis sighed, but she could see that Laura was not pleased. After that, Mavis decided she needed to learn more, so she went to the library. She found out about special costumes and magic wands and wishing really hard with her eyes squeezed shut. Mavis got her costume and wand ready. She waved the wand around to test its weight and balance. Since fairy godmothers were wise and kind, Mavis practiced making the right expressions, and finally, it was time to try her magic. She's trying to do all. Can you see all the faces she's trying to do? At school, Mavis took Hector out of his cage. She closed her eyes and imagined Hector turning into a coachman, just like the mouse in the story she had read. Then she opened her eyes. She didn't see a coachman. She didn't see Hector either.
Is he farting here? Is his coattails are kind of flying in the breeze?
The farting coachman. That sounds like a kid's book from the 1800s. Farley the farting coachman. It took a while for the class to find him. Mavis had to stay after school to clean up the mess. Cindy offered to help her. I do a lot of cleaning at home, she explained, and Mavis was very grateful. The next day, the teacher announced the school's annual Halloween party. Everybody was excited, Everybody except Cindy. What's the matter? Mavis asked. Don't you like parties? Oh, yes, said Cindy. I'm sure my stepsisters will go. They always have the most beautiful costumes, and I never have anything to wear. Mavis smiled. There is a wish that she could handle. Oh, so all through the whole story you've seen these two twins walking with their nose in the air. Of course, Mavis still had a long way to go. The magic stuff was bound to be tricky. It says powder. She's just put it taped over fairy dust. She might not be a fairy godmother yet. She belts her in the head with a bonk. She might not be a fairy godmother yet, but she's off to a very good start. Oh, that's nice. She's going to make her a costume. I wonder if there's a book 2 to this. We will have to see. We'll have to call Stephen and find out. It'd be very hard if his name was Stephen Stevenson. It was Stephen, Stephen, and then Stephenson would be Stephen. S-E-N. N-A-M-E-I-E-I-O. I'm not very good at spelling. What time is it? Oh, we got time for a longer book. Let's see. Here's a book. I just picked it up because it could be worse. Now, I say that a lot when things are going a little bit weird. I go, it could be worse. So I haven't read it yet, so let's read it together, shall we? It is written by James Stevenson, or Stephenson, I guess, ironically. I don't know. Can I have a puppy? I think you. Oh, perfect. Yes, a puppy, she said.
No.
No.
What are the chances of that happening?
Well...
did you do that on purpose?
No, I did not, because I could have read this book, Little Monkey Calms Down, or the Unicorn book, but I reached in the middle, and I pulled this one out, so that's what it is. By James Stevenson, and it's by Mulberry Books. Mulberry Books. It could be worse. This book is from 1977. I would have been 10 years old. At Grandpa's house, things were always the same. And that's the whole book, because nothing ever changed at Grandpa's house. Okay, so we read another book. Oh, keep reading this one. Miss Christie didn't say no to a puppy yet.
No.
I'm getting weirded if I don't hear no. Grandpa always had the same thing for breakfast, and every day he read the paper. Sweet marmalade. Oh, I think sour marmalade would be gross to have. I don't know. Do they make sour marmalade? And he always said the same thing. Well, could be worse. Grandpa, that awful dog ate this sofa cushion. It could be worse. No matter what. Grandpa said it could be worse. I got a splinter on my finger, Grandpa. It could be worse. My bike has a flat and my sneakers have a hole and I lost my kite in a tree, Grandpa. Well, it could be worse. One day, Mary Ann said, "How come Grandpa never says anything interesting?" "I guess," said Louis, "it's because nothing ever interesting happens to him." Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like, oh, there's nothing interesting happening to me right now or for a long time, and then something happens and I feel, yeah. Like when I had the puppy yesterday. Next morning at breakfast, Grandpa said something different. He said, "Guess what?" "Last night, when I was asleep, A large bird pulled me out of bed and took me for a long ride. Okay, this seems, Pulled me out of bed and took me for a long ride. He dropped me in the mountains. He's just buried in snow. Plop. I heard a noise. It was an abominable snowman with a huge snowball, which he threw at me. That looks like that would hurt. No face shots. I got stuck inside the snowball, which rolled down the mountain and landed on a desert and began to melt. I walked across the desert and suddenly I heard footsteps coming nearer and nearer. A moment later, I got squished by a giant something or other. What is that? It's a something or other. It's not a whatchamacallit, but it's a something or other. Before I could get up, I heard a strange noise, and a giant blob of marmalade was coming towards me. It chased me across the desert until...
Okay, he's running away from the marmalade.
He's running away from the marmalade, but he hasn't...
away from the giant something or other?
He didn't run away from the giant something. Yeah, that's weird. I crashed into something tall. It was sort of like an ostrich, and very, very cross. Cross means angry. It gave me a big kick, and I went up into some storm clouds and got hit by lightning, and then I fell out of the clouds. This guy has no luck. I'm telling you straight up. I landed in the ocean, and I sunk about a mile to the bottom. I saw an enormous goldfish coming at me. Goldfish can get really big. Some goldfish can get massive. I don't know if they can get that big, but they can get pretty big. I swam away as fast as I could, and I hid under a cup that had air in it. When it was safe, I crawled out, I started to walk, and my foot got stuck in the grip of a giant lobster. Bum, bum, bum. I didn't know what to do, but just then a big squid came along, and the squid squirted black ink all over the lobster. I escaped. And I hitched a ride to a sea turtle that was going to the top for a bit of sunshine. I was fortunate enough to find a piece of toast floating by and rode it to shore, where I discovered a newspaper and quickly folded it into an airplane. It flew across the sea and back home to my bed.
What an adventure.
No kidding. Now, what do you think of that? The kids are just like, ah. Could be worse, they said. Pardon me. Big sneeze that I hid by the book. That could be worse. You know, that's what I say. That's what I say when things are not going the way I need them to go, or where I think that they are completely going sideways. I'd say to myself, well, it could be worse, because then my brain will say, well, if it could be worse, this isn't the worst that it can be. And your brain goes, then I can handle this. That's what we do. So that's how we train our brains sometimes to do that, right? We train our brains sometimes we train our brains the wrong way, and we take every little piece and that's going wrong, and we add it to a whole bunch of other pieces that shouldn't even be glued together. We make a big going wrong kite, and it just catches the wind and it pulls us all over the place, instead of going, oh, this isn't going right and that's not going right. Oh, it's just a day where things aren't going right. And we try to laugh it off, or like I say, it could always be worse. That's what I do. That's what I say. It doesn't always work, but it works most of the time. Yep. Well, I'm going to let you get on with your day, and I have a lot to do today, so I'm going to go and do that. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Try to keep, if you're in the heat, try to be safe in the heat, and try to keep hydrated and keep sunscreened and things like that. So there will be no reading tonight, but I will be back tomorrow morning to read to you. I think what we're going to do is just pick one time during the day, which is probably going to be just in the mornings to read. With summertime coming, a lot of people are gone, and I'll keep reading for sure at least one time a day, and then every once in a while, if I have some time in the evening, I will pop on. How's that sound? And you can always check out for my reading, or you can check it on YouTube under Tazzy Reads. Hashtag Tazzy Reads. Tazzy Reads. Unless you're me, and then you type in Tazzy and it writes Teddy Reads, and for no reason it makes no sense. That's what happened yesterday. I just looked today and went, it says Teddy Reads. Teddy Reads? What? I'm a big teddy bear, really. Sometimes I am.
You are.
I'm sure stuffed, that's for sure.
Sometimes you're a grizzly bear.
Sometimes I'm a grizzly bear. But grizzly bears like puppies. It's a fact. A lot of times people don't know. Grizzly bears, they disguise themselves as children and mums, and then they go into the rescue and they get puppies because they need somebody to love them. I read that somewhere, maybe in my dreams. But I think it's true. It's science. Right away, if you give a grizzly bear that's really mad and you show it a little puppy, it's like a puppy, and it turns into a teddy bear. Puppies are the magical cure-all for everything, especially if you want dirty rocks. Which reminds me, I have to go clean up some dog stuff and some rocks. So I'll let you go. Go have yourself a great day. Be happy with all your emotions, even if they are scary ones or mad ones, because remember, they're all your emotions and they're all valid. They are all important. And please find somebody to share your emotions with, especially if you're anxious or if you're feeling angry or you're feeling a little lost, because I do that. I feel lost sometimes with my emotions, and I talk to Miss Christie. And sometimes Miss Christie and I are both lost with our emotions, so we talk to other people. I talk to my psychiatrist, and I talk to my friends, and I talk to Wee Beast. And I just, because if you hold your emotions in, then they sometimes feel like they're going to explode out. And that's when you have a moment, right? You have like, bah! So if you end up having a moment, just take the time to apologize and, say, I was feeling this way and I apologize. And just feel safe by sharing your emotions, because it's okay to feel mad, it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to be frustrated with the situation around you, because sometimes that's what will happen. But you have to be ABK. My buddy Justin's got it written right there. ABK. Always be kind, right? And be you. And don't worry about being perfect, because perfect is unachievable and not even worth the race to get to, right? Because in all that you say and all that you do, you never have to be perfect. You've just got to be you. So lots of love from Miss Christie. Lots of love, Justin. Miss you, buddy. Thank you for the cookies. There's still a couple left, and I'm going to have them. One of them I'm going to share with Miss Christie and Weebies. I will talk to you later. I don't have a song to end the show. I don't have a song, don't you know? So guess I'm just gonna have to let you go and play in the snow. Oh no, snow, just sunshine, so fine. Bye.